everybody, so today is the first day of spring and we're gonna do something very springy. We're gonna use colors, it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be kind of bold. So for this look, because I am gonna be using blue eyeshadow, I am going to do my eyes first and then I'm gonna do my skin. I'm gonna work sort of like in layers. I'm gonna do part of my eye and then my skin and then go back to my eyes. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm gonna prep my eyes and I'm gonna start using the Born This Way concealer. And I'm just gonna spread it with my finger, like so. This is going to act as my base and is going to grip the product to make sure that the color stands out and that it lasts really well. I've been really liking using my concealer as my primer because I find that it cancels whatever redness or veins I have on my eyes, and also it's like one less product, one less like step. So yeah. And for this look, we're gonna use a very beat up Norvina palette by Anastasia, and we're gonna use this shade here. This is the only shade that we're gonna be using, so it should be fairly simple. Well, actually, I'm gonna use this shade here too because that's what I'm gonna use as my translucent, not so translucent powder, so that the blue shadow, it looks very smooth. Okay, so we're gonna start with the blue shadow, and I'm gonna take a flat brush and I'm gonna sort of like pack it on, and I'm gonna press it, especially here on the lid, taking it all the way up and past the crease. We're gonna blend the shadow very high up, but at this stage we're only depositing the product because we want the color to be very intense. So I'm creating sort of like a round shape and packing it all the way to the top, and then taking a clean fluffy brush and blending the edge. And isn't this shade the prettiest color you've ever seen? It's like a mix of blue and purple, which is really pretty. And I like to blend my eyeshadow with my eyes open. That way I can really see where the shadow is going. And I make sure that when my eyes are open, you can really see that color. I took a little bit more with the fluffy brush just to take it really high up, but have it look very diffused. Okay, now that I have my lid done, I'm gonna go to my skin. And the reason that I'm doing that, is because if I do my concealer under my eyes after doing my shadow, it's gonna look very sharp and I want the edges to look very diffuse. So that's why I'm doing this. I think a look like this looks more modern when you have a very light base, which is why I'm using the Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, because it provides some coverage. It definitely evens out the skin tone, but it has a bit of glow. It doesn't cover absolutely everything, and whatever we need to cover, we can do so with concealer. And now I'm gonna go over with the same concealer and use it under my eyes. You have to make sure to conceal really well with this look because blue sometimes can emphasize the dark circles that you have around your eyes, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just stamping and blending downwards. And I'm also going to conceal around my nose where I have a tiny bit of redness that the Tinted Moisturizer didn't really cover. And I'm gonna cover some marks that I have on my skin from my last period. I had a crazy breakout. I said it in my last video actually. I've been so stressed about what's happening in my country, in Venezuela. Venezuela, not Minnesota. What's happening in my country? Well, because things are very tense right now, and I've been like zoomed in a world of news like 24/7. I even wake up like at 4 in the morning like, oh my god, what happened? Which is not healthy. I don't recommend you take it to that extreme, but that's what's happening to me. So I'm gonna use cream products for this look for the skin. So what I'm gonna do before, damn, I have like I have like a little hair, Luna's hair. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm gonna use cream products for this look, cream blush and cream highlighter. So before I finish the eyes, I'm gonna do my skin, and I'm gonna use the RMS, what is this, Luminizer Quad. You can just use whatever you want. I'm gonna use this shade here, which is called Champagne Fizz, and I'm just going to tap it on my cheekbones. I'm actually gonna mix it with this other one, Champagne Rosé, which is a tiny bit more highlighty, a tiny bit more intense. Okay, so I'm gonna contour my face, which I never do, but I think that for this look, if we were to use something too pinky, it's going to look very like dolly, which I like, but I wanted to make it look more modern than that like doll look. So I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty highlighting stick, and this is in the shade Amber, and I'm gonna use it on a soft, small fluffy brush, because I don't want to take it absolutely everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it not in the center of the hollow of my cheeks, but slightly above, because I find that this gives more of a lift. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Real Techniques brushes, just because I find them, and I feel like this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I find them, they feel very cheap, and they don't blend really well, especially the eye brushes. But this brush is the absolute best. I use it for contouring, for blush, for highlighting. I even use it sometimes when I want like a very diffuse look for my eyeshadow, just clean to like blend everything over. So it really does everything. So not only is like super cheap because I buy it at Target for like $4, but you can give it so many different uses that you get a lot of bang for your buck. And I'm just contouring my chin as well. Okay, now I'm gonna do my powder, and I'm going to use my Mercier translucent powder, starting under my eyes. Around my nose, tip of my nose. And really on my T-zone, because again, like I said, I do want that glow on the skin. I'm not powdering this area here just yet because I want to see if I'm going to put blush, because if I do blush, it's going to be for sure a cream one. Okay, now going back to the eyes, I'm going to take the same flat brush with the same blue shade, and I'm going to use it under my eyes. And because I just powdered underneath, this color is really going to blend really well. And that's something to take into consideration. You don't want to go straight over to your concealer, because the eyeshadow might stick to it and look very patchy. And I take it to the outer corner and bring it down. And with the with a fluffy brush, with a clean fluffy brush, I'm going to blend the edges, making sure that I blend around my eye so that everything looks connected, and we give the eye that round shape that we're looking for. Okay, now for the brows. The brows are a very important thing in this look because I'm going to load them. So if you don't want something so intense, just do your normal mascara. But I am going to really pack it on, which is going to give it like a 60s kind of feel. So I'm just gonna start going over on my lashes, especially on the roots, and I wiggle it. I always see people going like this, and while that's fine, you really want to build intensity around the roots of the lashes because that's what's going to give you a lot of definition. And this mascara is really good for layering, which is really important to if you want to get the clumpy lashes, which that's what I'm going for. You can really like leave it and come back to it. And now it's just a matter of really placing the lashes and sticking them together, which I know is not gonna be to everybody's it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but I really like it. I think it looks soulful and modern. So the camera cut me off, but really all I did was do mascara on my bottom lashes, and I did it the same way, very clumped, like they look very clumpy, very intense. And again, if you don't want the lashes like this, I totally understand. It is a very editorial, like fashion forward look. If you want, you can just do your normal mascara, focusing on the roots of the lashes, just so that you have a lot of definition, because these type of shades, especially this one because it's a tiny bit pastel, it can wash you out. So now I'm just doing my lipstick and I'm patting it because I don't want full opacity. And I do think I need a tiny bit of blush. So I'm gonna use this one by Kosas, which is a cream blush, and I've depotted the highlighter that comes with it because I love it so much. It's so beautiful. So I put it in my kits. But the blush I kept, and I'm gonna use a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to very lightly go over my cheeks, not going so much here because again I don't want it to look so dolly, but really more like on this area here, melting it with the contour and the highlighter that we used before. And this blush, it's so subtle, which is why I chose it for this, and it has more of a peachy tone, which I like because it looks more grown up than if I were to use pink, which looks very childish, in a good way, but childish. So this is the finished look, and it's definitely very playful, very springy, which was the intention, to celebrate the starting of spring today. And it's really fun. You can really wear it for an event during the day if you feel like being very bold. And I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week.